Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about semicircles and the formulas that we use with circles. So I'm going to jump right into it so we cut right to the chase. The perimeter of a circle is actually called the circumference. That's just like the perimeter on any other shape. It's all around the outside, okay? We find that by doing cherry. This is how I remember it. Cherry is delicious pie. Cherry is delicious pie. Now, a semicircle is just half of a circle, right? So in order to find the perimeter, aka the circumference of a semicircle, you do the same thing, but you take whatever you get and divide it by 2, because semicircle means half of a circle. Okay, so for the area of a circle, the area of a circle is found by doing the radius squared times pi. Again, if we're doing a semicircle, aka half a circle, we're going to do area equals radius squared times pi, but we're going to cut it in half. A friendly reminder, your radius goes from the center of the circle outwards. The diameter goes all the way across and through the center. All right, so let's figure out how we can do some of these guys. Let's take a look at example number 1. For those of you following along at home, 3rd edition, Algebra 1/2. Okay, guys. So, what's the best way to do this guy? Okay, let's break this guy. So this is from our first example. Let's break this guy into some shapes that we know. We know how to find the area of a rectangle and the area of a triangle. So, this whole bit here is 15. This whole bit is 10 from this distance to this distance, which makes this guy right here 5, okay? This 5, pretend this is a clock, and we take this hand and we twist it upwards, right? We know that this guy's going to be a 5, and down here, this is going to be a 5 as well. That makes this guy 10. That makes this guy 10 as well. All right, so let's talk about some of these. The area of the triangle. Okay, so the area of the triangle, that is going to be the base times the height cut in half, if you remember our formula for that. Now, the base and the height have to make a right angle. See how this one does? We don't want to use this slanty bit here. We want to use this for the height. So if we do that, we get area equals 5 times 10 divided by 2. 5 times 10 is 50, divided by 2 is 25. Dimensions are in meters, so that's 25 meters squared. All right, so we've taken care of this bit right here. Now we have to take care of the area of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle, the dimensions of the rectangle are 10 by 10. So we know that that's going to be, so that's just length times width. So our area equals 10 times 10, which means the area is 100 meters squared. Now we're on to this circle, all right? So we know the area of half of the circle is going to be, so area circle is going to be the radius squared times pi. We know our radius is 5, so we do A equals 5 squared pi, and 5 squared we know is 25. Now, you could multiply it by 3.14, which is what pi represents, to represent pi. However, I think it's actually easier if you keep it in terms of pi, so you don't do that multiplication bit. Let's not forget our units, though. It is in meters squared. So how do we find the area of this whole thing? We add it all up. We have 25 plus 100 plus 25 pi. Now, this is not 150 pi. It is. These guys can be combined, but this one cannot be combined. So your answer is the area of that whole big thing here is, oh, shoot, you know what? I just realized I made a mistake here. We forgot. We got to divide that by 2. It's a semicircle. Got to divide by 2. So the area is actually 12.5 pi meters squared. I'm so sorry about that. So I knew I was going to forget to do something. Okay, so that's 12.5 meters squared. Okay, so what we have is 125 plus 12.5 pi meters squared. So this would be your answer here. This guy would be your answer. All right, let's take a look at the next example. Okay, so we've got, oh, I'm sorry, that was just area. That was area, and we have to do perimeter as well. So the perimeter, aka the circumference, right? We know that this bit is, so perimeter, I'm gonna write that down here. We know we have to add up all the outside stuff. So we've got 11.18 plus this guy right here is 15 plus this guy right here is 10. Now, the circumference of our circle, again, the circumference is let's see, if we do, circumference is, let's do it down here. Circumference equals, or cherry equals delicious pie, divided by 2, though. We can't forget to do that part. When we come back up here, our diameter here, if our radius is 5, our diameter is going to be 10. So this is going to be 10 pi divided by 2, which gives us 5 pi. So our perimeter is this plus this plus this plus 5 pi. Okay, so what we should do here is we've got 11.18 plus 15 plus 10 equals, so this is going to equal 36.18. 36.18. Wait, yep, 11 point, oh, that's this, just making sure I did it right. That's that plus 5 pi. And that is just plain old meters. Now, looking in the book, they do actually have you multiply by 3.14. So if you want to do that, that's fine by me as well. So let's say we did that for this guy. It would be 125 plus 12.5 times 3.14, which would give us 39.25 plus 125 would give us equals 164.25 meters squared. So that is if we multiplied it all the way out. The other one would be, we would want to do our 5 pi first. So we're going to do 36.18 plus 5 times 3.14 would give us 15.7. 15.7. And if I add plus 36.18, I would end up with 51.88 meters. So that's how you can do it in terms of pi or not. All right, so let's do one more example so that you have it. On this case, all right, so this one's a little bit tricky because it isn't all totally marked yet. So we know that this guy is 5 right here. Again, if we imagine like it's a clock, right, and it like ticks upwards towards midnight there in the opposite direction, I guess. This would be a 5 here, and this would be a 5 down here, making this whole dotted line here 10. And because that's 10 over there, this would be 10 over here. Now, we know this guy is 4 here, which makes this guy 4 and this guy 4. That makes this whole thing 8, right? That makes this whole big part here 14. 14. Okay, so let's start by finding the perimeter. So the perimeter is going to be 10 plus 14 plus, now we have to find the circumference of these two circles. Remember, cherry is delicious pie. Okay, cherry is delicious pie. So diameter is just doubling the radius. So if this is 5, the radius would be 10. But again, we have to cut that in half. So we have 10 pi cut in half plus, now this guy, the radius is 4, which makes the diameter 8. So 8 pi, but we have to cut that guy in half. All right, so what do we have here? Now we have these two things, which are 24 plus 5 pi plus 4 pi. Now guys, you can add those two pi's together to give us 9 pi. So we have 24 plus 9 pi for the perimeter. And that is in centimeters. So you just say centimeters. If you want to go ahead and multiply it all the way out, make sure you do this 9 pi first. So we have 9 times 3.14, which would give us 28.26. So 24 plus 28.26 equals, so plus 24 gives us 52.26 centimeters. 52.26 centimeters. Now let's talk area. Okay, so for the perimeter, so we know that this is going to be 52.26, so I can put that in there. Now let's talk area. The area of the rectangle is going to be 10 by 14. So area of the rectangle equals 10 by 14, which equals 1/4. 140. The area of circle number 1, half circle, that's going to look like an E. I think we'll do a circle. Equals. Now, remember the area is found by radius squared pi, but again, this is a half circle, so we have to cut it in half. Now, our radius here is 4, so it's going to be 4 squared pi cut in half. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. Cut that in half, we end up with 8 pi. The area of the other circle, that is going to be 5 is our radius. So we're going to do 5 squared pi divided by 2. Again, just like the other one, 5 times 5 is 25. Cut that in half, we get 12.5 pi. Okay, so now what we have is we've got the area of this big bit, we've got the area of this semicircle and this semicircle. So those are all these guys right here. So we end up doing 140 plus, now 8 plus 12.5 would give us 20.5 pi. We are talking centimeters, so that would be centimeters squared. Let's go ahead and do the math all the way out on that. 20.5 times 3.14 would give us 64.37. So 140 plus 64.37 equals 204.37. So the area would be 204.37 centimeters squared. Oh, I forgot to write centimeters here. Make sure you're using your units. All right, guys, pause the video, do the practice problem, and then come on back. Let's see what you got. All right, so we know that this guy is 8 here. This guy is going to be 4 because this is 2. So that means this is 2 and this is 2. Let's see. So the area of the rectangle is 8 times 4, which gives us 32. Okay, and then the area of the first circle, we'll do this one right here. We know that it's going to be 3 squared pi divided by 2. 3 squared would be 9. Cut that in half, we get 4.5 pi. The area of the other circle is the radius squared, so 2 squared pi, cut in half because it's only a semicircle. 2 squared is 4. 4 cut in half is 2, so we get 2 point, or oops, I don't know what I'm writing like that. 2 pi. So the area is 32 plus 4.5 plus 2 is 6.5 pi. I'm allowed to combine those because they both contain pi. Okay, so then let's do 32 plus 6.5 times 3.14 is 20.41. 20.41. Combine those two things, we end up with 52.41. Dimensions are in centimeters, so centimeters squared. So we'll come up here, we'll write that 52.41 centimeters squared. All right, for perimeter. Perimeter of, so we've got 8 plus 4, 8 plus 4, but now we need that little bit that's right there. Well, notice this is 3. That makes this thing 3 and this thing 3. That's 6. 2 more would give me 8. So this whole thing has to equal 8. So I have 3, 3, and 2 gives me 8. Okay, so I have 8 plus 4 plus this little bit, that's 2. Then I have 3. The radius of this guy is 3. The diameter would be 6. Cut 6 in half, we would have plus 3 pi for that first one. This guy right here would be 2. The radius is 2, the diameter is 4. Cut that in half, we get 2 pi. So plus 2 pi. So 8, so this is 14 plus 3 and 2 is 5 pi. So we get 14 plus, and then 5 times 3.14 gives me 15.7. All right, so then that gives us 29.7 centimeters. So the perimeter is 29.7 centimeters. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, great work, and I'll see you next time.